Hey Suzuki fans, how are you? David here. This is a quick video to show you how to do the side panel and bodywork removal and trunk tub removal on an early series 03 to 06 Suzuki Burgman scooter. There's a few things you'll need to be aware of. There's a video on YouTube here showing it on 07 and later series scooters, the same 400 but the newer style, and there's a lot of differences, so I thought I would shoot this just to give you a little inside view of how it's done. And you'll be needing a manual, so do yourself a favor and either buy a Suzuki manual or download one or print one or something. But get your hands on the Suzuki official manual. I think these are available for sale at SuzukiFactoryManuals.com. And having a copy on your tablet, computer, or smartphone electronically would probably be a pretty good idea, especially if you're going to travel. There's a flow chart here for how all the body work comes off. I'm referring, for the purposes of disassembly on my scooter, to the chassis chapter number 7. And I had printed it in 2 sections, so that for me, that's the beginning part of the second half of my very large spiral bound manual. But you can see, to take off all the body parts, it first has an identification of what the body parts are called and then how to take them off. And my purpose is to remove the trunk box, and I was wondering how to do that. So after looking at the manual, reading everything carefully, reviewing my fastener choices, that's the fasteners that are basically available to me in my fastener selection, that box I got from Amazon. You're going to have Suzuki stock clips, some of which will be broken and unreusable, and some maybe you can use them again once. But it's all 16 years old on a bike that's this aged. I did find a fastener here that works fine for reinstalling the body clips. It actually fits the same hole, even though it looks a little larger. And just to show you which one that is, it's that one right there in the middle. Okay. But that flow chart's what it's going to tell you the order that you can take things off in. And I'll show you my parts as they came off in just a second. The different sections have like a focus on various parts. So I'm not worried about the front part of the seat. For me, I'm worried about the frame cover and the trunk box. And there's blow-ups of each of these sub-assemblies elsewhere in the manual, so you have a lot there. But nothing quite like doing it. Unfortunately, I don't have the capability to edit here, and I'm just going to basically show you the parts as they came off in the order in which they were removed. You first take off any trunk box you may have. That'd be your rear box. This is a little inexpensive Givey one that my prior owner put on, and it mounts on a little pedestal there, and that is attached with these brackets to the large bolts that are part of the rear assembly. Those are just large bolts that he bought somewhere that bolt into the rear. This is a metal bracket that's forms the backrest. They call that a center pillion handle, and that is covered with a decorative cover in the center that has 2 Phillips screws. That was not explained in the manual. I had to figure that out, and I had to remove the backrest first to see those screws. And there's a few tricks there, so be sure to consult the manual. You got your lock cover that covers everything. Here's the undercover that is the furthest most bottom piece below the taillight assembly. Then you have the center cover there that pops off with 4 little protrusions that fit in the gray part there between the taillights. And the whole taillight and left and right side cover, upper side covers, all come off as a unit. There's 2 electrical connectors to be removed, and then the whole thing slides off. And you've got to follow the order in the manual. So I'm not going to try and reproduce that for you here. Just get your hands on that manual, follow the flow chart, methodically take things off. This is not a job for you're in a hurry. This is a job because you're either going to paint the parts of the scooter, so you want to get the painted parts off so that you may refinish them, or you've got some repair in mind that requires this sort of disassembly. And I'm literally going to paint this next spring, but for now, I was wanting to modify my PC breather, my PCV, positive crankcase ventilation breather. This particular early 400 scooter has a problem where it consumes oil at high speeds on the interstate, and I just got done with a 4,000-mile interstate tour. It used about a quart of oil every 2,000 miles or so, and I didn't like that level of consumption. So what I want to do is reroute my PCV breather hose and I was unable to do so because it was stuck underneath the trunk box, and I literally did not have access. So pulling all these parts off gives you access. Let me also go up here and finish up. You have your pillion handles. It's 2 grab handles, and then you have your tunnel plastic. That's the part that goes directly in front of the seat, covers the gas tank, as you can see there underneath the frame. You also have your trunk mat and your weather seal. And these scooters are renowned for their underseat storage. It's just great to have, 30 liters of storage under your seat. But this trunk box is very difficult and laborious to take out. So it actually is in 2 pieces. There's an upper half and a lower half. You can see it there. And you've got these clips. Here's the variety of fasteners that are removed in order to accomplish this. That these little clips hold the top half to the bottom half. And you can't really even take those off with the screwdriver until you've removed that side and tail light assembly. Then you can get at these clips. And then once the upper is detached from the lower, you'll be able to get, so I can do this while holding the camera, you'll be able to take off your top half. Be careful, this is old plastic, so things could break. Actually, I'm pretty impressed with the kind of quality. It's in good shape despite being 16 years old. And voila, there's your entire back fender, trunk box, unified assembly. And voila, the reason I did all this work was to get to the PCV hose, which is that hose right there. Crankcase vent, hose leading up to the air box, connects in the corner there. And if you have this problem, I'm intending this video to kind of demonstrate the process generally for taking off the bodywork to get to this. I'll have a separate video up in the next few days about rerouting your PCV hose if you have the high oil consumption and you want to try and deal with that. And I'll show you that real quick. I'll just give that a quick little moment. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm installing this about 2 feet, 2.5 feet of 3/8 breather PCV hose, fuel line sort of stuff, just really strong hose, to add this breather assembly to that crankcase vent. And this is all the plan is to mount all this up here and hide it well within the bodywork cavity. And then I'll button things up and we'll see how it runs. I'm going to test run it before I put the panels back on there. So that's my plan. This is all doable, but you just have to be methodical, slow, and careful about it. And you sharp-eyed people have noticed I have a car tire on there instead of a motorcycle tire. Truth, I have dark-sided my scooter, and I rode all the way back from Southern California to East Texas with that, and I would not go back to a motorcycle tire for anything. I'm really loving the dark-sided car tire. It's working better, really, in about every respect I could measure. You can watch my separate video on dark-siding your Burgman 400 scooter for more details about that. All right, so that's kind of the overview of things here. Get your manual, pay attention to chassis chapter number 7, and then have yourself some replacement fasteners for the ones that break. Here's the modest selection of tools that it took to do this. Basically 4, 5, and 6 millimeter Allen, straight wrenches, and then your sockets as well. Good idea to have both. Your panel removal tools for prying the panels loose or the fasteners out. And then I also enjoy my little quickie socket. There are a few 10 millimeter bolts or nuts that need to be removed in this process as well. So there you have it. That's a pretty good overview. Any questions, please put them in the comments below. I'm glad to help in any way I can. And I hope this is a sufficient overview. Apologies, I'm not like showing every step, but it's fairly straightforward. Just be real careful when you're pulling things off because you are dealing with plastic that's 15 or 16 years old. All right, so thanks for watching. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. Post this anywhere. Thank you very much. God bless you, and ride safe. Okay, my friends?